Welcome to Mat Pilates through MIT's Health Fitness program. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to join me. This is going to be a 45-minute Mat Pilates class. So the setup you need is the yoga mats, okay, and some floor space. Hopefully you don't have furniture right next to your leg where you're going to kick your furniture. And then try to move a little bit away from the walls, because if we extend our arms to the side, you don't want to whack the walls. Feel free to modify any of the movements. I will be giving modifications as I go. Mat Pilates is a type of workout that focuses on your core musculature. So that would be anything that attaches to your spine and pelvis. If you're brand new to Pilates, you are going to want to keep your eyes on me, but at the same time, be very careful about straining your neck. And this actually goes for everyone anyways. Glance at me from time to time to see what we're doing, but then if you can, keep your head and neck aligned with your spine as you do the remaining repetitions of exercises. Okay, drink water. Take breaks whenever you need. You don't have to keep going the whole 45 minutes. We're going to be, sorry, I look at Nicole pick up her cat. Sorry, can't get distracted by that. I'm unable to watch every single person at the same time I teach, so I won't be giving any direct corrections or modifications to you, not like in a live class setting. So we do have those limitations. But again, thank you for joining me, and let's get started. If you're new to Zoom, please find my picture or my video screen, go to the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner and pin my video. That way I'll stay in front and center. It should automatically default that way, but just in case you have it on gallery mode, where you're seeing like almost every single person in little squares, you wanna actually get my video onto the main part of your screen. All right, can everyone hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Yes, great, awesome, let's get started. Pilates is all about breathing, so we're going to start with our breath. If you can sit nice and tall, stare straight ahead, and we're going to inhale through the nose and out through the mouth. Nice and slowly. Inhale, exhale. So feel free to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, create a nice C curve, sort of relax into it. This does look like slouching, but instead of viewing it as slouching, view it as spine flexion. Inhale to extend through the top of your head. Exhale. Flex that spine. Inhale. And exhale. Got a couple more times. I'm keeping my shoulders down and relaxed from my ears as I do all these exercises. Good, last one. So inhale here, exhale, round the spine and roll down one vertebra at a time. Now make sure your head is on the mat. So if you have a shorter mat, you may need to slide down a bit and have your feet on the floor. Our feet are hip distance apart, knees bent. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. So you might not be able to see clearly, but there's a small gap under my lower back. I can slide my hand underneath it. That's your neutral spine, neutral pelvis position. Inhale and exhale. Predominantly, we're going to be doing an imprinted spine. So that means I draw my abs down. You're going to feel your tailbone lift off the mat, and I can no longer get my hand underneath my lower back. So let's go ahead and imprint and breathe. Inhale through the nose, exhale out through the mouth. It's a little more challenging to take as deep of an inhale when you're imprinted, because your abs stay contracted. But you want to practice learning how to do that, how to breathe in imprints, since the majority of the time we will be in imprints, and you want to keep breathing. Inhale, exhale. Okay, we're going to hold the imprint, as mentioned, and lift our legs to tabletop. Here's our Pilates warm-up here. So knees are over the hips. Knees are 90 degrees, one at a time. It doesn't matter which leg. Tap the toe on the floor and return. Exhale, tap the toe. Inhale, return. The challenge here is to remain imprinted while that leg moves away from the head. Try to keep your shoulders relaxed, hands relaxed, but if need be, press into the floor with your hands. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Good. The slower you move in Pilates, the more you're going to feel the work in the whatever muscle you're targeting. In this case, it's our abs and our hip flexors. We're going to move both legs now. So exhale. I'm just going to go part way down for the first one. I'm going to make sure my lower back doesn't lift up. You might need to press into your hands a little bit more. So see how your body feels. If you want to go all the way to the floor, tap those toes and bring it back, you can. Just make sure you don't feel any strain in the lower back. So again, feel free to just go halfway down and then back up. Both your legs, it's a lot of weights, right? Our lower body has more weight than our upper body, so actually, is that true? I don't know. Scratch that. All right, last one. We're going to take the legs all the way down. Feet are still hip distance apart, so they're not next to each other, and we're going to slide the heels a little closer to the butt. For our shoulder bridge, starting from the tailbone, roll it up one vertebra at a time, aiming for a straight line from shoulders, hips through knees. Oftentimes we're trying to push our hips as high as possible, but in Pilates we want to just find that neutral spine. Good. Inhale at the top, exhale, slowly roll down until your tailbone's back on the floor. This is called spine articulation. Keep going. Inhale. Let me just check everyone out here for a second. Inhale at the top and exhale, slowly roll down. So moving one vertebra at a time, getting motion in between each of your vertebrae. One more time, you're pressing through your feet. So I forgot to mention at the beginning, you don't need shoes or socks for Pilates. Wear socks if your feet get cold. If you want to wear shoes, you can, but we do point and flex our feet a lot in Pilates, so your feet have more range of motion if you don't have shoes on. All right, so finishing up on that last shoulder bridge. So that's warming up our glute muscles, our butt, and back down. Good, now we're gonna do ab prep. So keeping our pelvis on the ground, we're gonna lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale to prepare, and exhale, nod the chin, lift head, neck, and shoulder blades, eye gaze on your kneecaps. Inhale, hold, exhale, lower back down. We just wanna lift head, neck, and shoulder blades. Inhale, exhale. On the inhale here, if you wanna lift a little higher, you can, and then exhale, release. Inhale, exhale, little crunch up. If you want, inhale a little higher, and exhale, back down. Moving slowly with control, you should feel your abdominals here. Now, as you crunch up, make sure your shoulders don't crunch up with you. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears, and keep all the work in your abs. Good, one more time. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, and exhale. Good, we're gonna go into our hundreds. So for hundreds, you can keep the feet on the floor. Let me quickly show you what hundreds is. We're gonna be pumping our arms 100 times. Arms straight and constantly reaching. You can have your legs on tabletop. So my knees and feet are together. You can have your legs vertical, little hamstring stretch here. And then the most challenging is legs on the diagonal. All right, so of the 4 positions, pick which one you like. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Crunch your body up, reach those arms, and we're gonna start hundreds. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale, exhale. 20, inhale, exhale. 30, inhale, exhale. 40, keep reaching with those fingertips, exhale. Halfway done. Inhale. Keep those abs engaged. Exhale. 60. Lower back imprinted. Exhale. 70. Inhale. Exhale. You can look at your kneecaps. You don't need to look at me. Inhale. Exhale. Try to keep those shoulder blades off the floor for the last 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in. And your abdominals should feel nice and fatigued. Flipping over for our spine work. So if you have any lower back pain, keep your arms, your forearms on the ground for supports. All right? Your hands do not need to be underneath your body. Spread out as much as you want, like. So my hands might even be, my forearms might even be off the mats. The most important thing about the spine is that your head and neck, you include it as part of your spine. So if I'm looking right at you, which you can look at me for a moment, but try to keep your eye gaze on the floor, chin slightly tucked. So you don't want to look up to strain your neck, okay? Inhale, lift. I'm gently pressing into my forearms from fingertips to elbows. Exhale down. You don't want your arms too far forward because you can't press in as much, and not so far back that your elbows are off the ground. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. For now, I'm keeping the tops of the feet on the mat, focusing on the muscles around the spine. It's not wrong to lift the legs, but it does take work into the glutes, which currently is not our focus. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now, if you feel that you don't need the forearm assist, you can take those arms down towards the hips and reach the fingertips toward the toes as you open up the chest. This exercise is for improving your posture and for working the muscles that are opposing your abs. For balance, you don't only want to work, keep going, you don't only want to work the front side of your body, you also want to work the back side. All right, how are we doing? Good. Just have to lift until maybe the top half of your rib cage is off the ground. Very nice. All right, finishing up on the last one, and we're going to push back into our spine stretch. So after every spine exercise, we always do a little stretch. It's just such a delicate muscle, we want to make sure it feels okay right after we work it. So again, that C curve creates the stretch from the lower back through the upper back. So just now we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, so now we're separating our shoulder blades. Okay. So now we are sitting in the front half of our mat again. And it's okay if you're in the back half of your mat, it's just that we are going to roll down eventually, and then you don't have to readjust yourself. So my feet are hip distance apart. So hip distance apart, not this wide, not together, hip. Good, and we're doing what's called a half roll back. Reach your arms forward. Again, no shrugging of the shoulders, and create that C curve back. We sort of did this in our breathing exercise when we first started this class. But this time, instead of just creating the C curve, we're also going halfway back. So wherever sort of the top of your pants is, that's about where you're going. Inhale here, exhale. Notice my arms stay parallel to the ground and my hands stay at shoulder height. So I'm not reaching my arms up here. We are going to do that though. What that does is it intensifies the exercise. Exhale. Yeah, this is your basic half roll back. If you want, you can lengthen your spine here and then create that C curve and go back. Or you can keep the C curve when you come up. So I love Pilates because you can use your own limbs to create more challenges. So what that means is I'm going to raise one arm as I go back, going no farther than the ears. The reason why you don't want to go behind the ears is because it kind of takes you out of alignment. Like if you're trying to create a C curve, it's hard to get your arms, it's hard to maintain the C curve if your arm goes behind your ears.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to lift my arm. Sometimes I can't speak and do at the same time. Okay. So notice that you feel more work in the abs when you're lifting one arm. So now you can lift both, but you don't have to go all the way to the ears. Remember, you can go as far as you like. So maybe I'm just lifting it in between my shoulders and my ears. Or this time, I'm going to go all the way to my ears. We're still trying to go the same range of motion we've been doing before. And of course, feel free to keep your arms right in front of you. Good, my feet are just on the mat. They're not lifting, they're not straightening, they're anchored. We're gonna roll all the way down now. So, however you wanna roll down. Good. Our abdominals work in both directions. We're gonna peel ourselves off the floor for the full roll up. The reason why I start with half rollbacks first is if you find that full roll-ups aren't very comfortable for you or it doesn't work for your spine, that's okay. You can keep doing half rollbacks and you're hitting the same muscles. Now this is more spine articulation. Anchor your feet, so heels really heavy on the mat, biceps by the ears, and here, our full roll-up. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. I continue actively reaching with the arms. It pulls my head, neck, and shoulders up. Now I keep reaching with my arms and it pulls the rest of my spine up. And I reach for my toes and I stretch my hamstring and lower back. Okay? And then on the way down, we don't want to just fall to earth. We want to slowly reverse, which means our abs are working on the way up and on the way down. Now, if you feel like you're getting stuck on the way up, which is very, very common, so don't feel like you're the only person that can't do it. You can grab here. You can use a little bit of momentum, because usually you're just stuck at a certain spot. So once we get past that stuck point, you're up. And then here, you can increase muscular strength on the way down. Let's do about 3 more at your own pace. Inhale, keep reaching with the arms. Exhale. You want very active arms and active legs. So my leg, my quads, even though they're just on the mat, they're engaged. I'm squeezing my leg muscles. If you've done Pilates before, either with me or in another class, you can change your arm positioning to create more challenge. So arms forward on the way up and down is the basic position. And as you learn from the half roll back, arms high on the way down will be more challenging. Good. Arms high on the way up is ridiculous. Ugh. Okay. So experiment with your body. Get familiar with your body. Some people have long legs, short torsos. Some have longer torsos, shorter legs. And that's all going to affect how you do Pilates. All right? It's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. Get the workout you want for your abdominals, for your spine, for your muscles. All right, I said 3 more, right? So how many was that? Like 5 more? 6 more? Okay. Come back to the mats. So we're all on the mats here. Pants tend to shift a little bit, so pull your pants if they slid off. Hugging the knees into the chest for our ab series, single leg stretch. I'm going to start each exercise with my head, neck, and shoulders on the ground, and then I'm going to lift it up. You can always keep your head down. I'm going to put both hands onto one knee and extend the other. Where do you extend it to? You can extend it low, mid, or high. Figure out what works for you. Stay imprinted. Good, switch. Inhale to switch, exhale, reach. Inhale, exhale. Now I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulder blades. So whenever I do that, I'm lifting all 3. Well, you really can't lift your, I guess you can lift your head without your neck and shoulders, yeah. But you can't lift your shoulders without your neck and head. So the idea is that we engage our abdominals and reinforce the imprint with a lifted head, neck, and shoulders. What you don't want to do is just lift the head and nothing is. Okay, how are we doing? Let's add some rotation. otherwise known as the bicycle. Hands go behind the head, and we start to turn slightly towards the bent knee. Keep those elbows nice and wide. The goal is not to bring the elbow to the knee, but to direct a shoulder towards the opposite knee. Notice if both shoulder blades are still off the ground. They can vary in height, your shoulder blades, but neither of them should be hitting the floor. Good. If your foot's cramping for any reason, you can flex the foot and reach the heel out. Okay. Double leg stretch. Returning the hands down, head down, hands to the outside of the knees. I'm going to start my first one reaching toward the ceiling. How's that feel? All right, let's see what happens if we go a little more on the diagonal. Good. So you'll notice the increased challenge for your abs to maintain imprint the lower your feet are and the lower your hands are. The furthest back your arms will go are your ears. So I'm going to lift my head, neck, and shoulders now, which actually limits how far back my arms go. All right, my arms are reaching more up than back when my head, neck, and shoulders are lifted. But that doesn't mean your abs are feeling any less work. Inhale, exhale. But if you're doing exhale, inhale, that's okay. As long as you're breathing, that's all that matters. Do 2 more at any angle you like. And note that your leg angle does not have to match your arm angle. So you can have your legs very low and your arms more vertical. Okay, from here, rest your head and neck if you need. Scissors. I'm grabbing as high as I can. I'm trying to keep my leg as straight as possible. This not only works your abs, it also works your hip flexors and your quads. So keeping that leg straight. Head, neck, and shoulders up. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Right here, when both my legs are not being held by my hands, that's when your abs are working. Try this really slow motion. Good. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale the scissor. Exhale, hold, a little stretch. Inhale, exhale. Last 2. Last one. Oh, I know you're feeling it, because I'm feeling it. Okay. Well, that's the end of the ab series. When we want to rest the abs, we flip onto them. So let's get on our abs and do a little more spine work. So you always have the option to put your forearms down and do basic spine extension, okay? I am gonna be giving variations. One of them is a weighted variation. So I'm gonna stack my hands like this, put it to my forehead. So now when I lift my head and the upper part of my chest, my arms lift up with my head as if they're connected, which means the spine is now lifting the weight of your arms. So this is a body weight resistance spine extension. Go at your own pace. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale. Exhale. Again, anchor the tops of the feet to that mat. We're keeping our legs down for now. Good. Yeah, glue those hands to the forehead. Nice. Again, breathe how you're comfortable. If you prefer exhaling to lift and inhaling on the lower, that's perfectly fine. Let's do one more and then go ahead and sit yourself back for that stretch. We're always going to do much more abs than we do spine work. It's not that we don't want to balance the two out, it's just that your abs are significantly stronger than your spine. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, we're gonna do the shoulder bridge. So remember, core muscles are not just your abs, not just your spine. It is anything that attaches to your pelvis and your spine. Your spine inserts into your pelvis, so if you don't have a stable spine, a stable pelvis, you won't have a stable spine. So now we're gonna work on the muscles right around the pelvis. So this would be the shoulder bridge. We did this earlier in the warm-up, but instead of articulating, we're gonna lift the whole spine up and drop the whole thing down. So stabilize your spine. A healthy spine is both mobile when it needs to be, right? Moving one vertebra at a time, and it's also stable when you need to be, such as planks and right now. We're not articulating. Go straight up, drop straight down. Your feet should be hip distance apart, so you don't want your feet together. And then we're gonna start working one butt cheek at a time. So you might have one leg that's dominant than the other, more so than the other, but we wanna make sure they're about equal. I'm lifting my left leg first, which means I'm working my right butt cheek. Okay, hands here, push. You want both sides of your pelvis to come up. So the right and left hip are still coming to the same height as they did before when both feet were on the ground. If you'd like to straighten your leg, you can. You can either keep it straight, constant hamstring stretch, toes pointed or flexed, or you can do what I call a bend and extend. A little more coordination there. But that work on the right butt cheek, that's where all the work is. A little bit in the straightening leg if that's what you're doing. Let's do two more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Good. Let's switch sides. I'm gonna start the first few with just my knee bent. Knee right over the hip in tabletop position. Your abs are still at work here. They're not just relaxed. You want to keep them engaged so that you don't hyperextend through the hip. Okay. You want the leg straight, more active on top, you can. And again, if you want to do the bend and extend, feel free. Anyone that's ever taken my class before, yeah, I have no idea what number we're on. Hopefully you're reaching some sort of muscular fatigue, and that's good. But feel free to stop moving if your muscles need a break. All right, last two. When in doubt, two more. Okay. All right, so that's for your glutes. But we're now gonna keep our butt on the floor and work on our hips. So abs stabilizing. So I just had my right leg up because I was working my left butt cheek. So I'm gonna keep my right foot down and straighten my left leg. We're gonna make circles. Now, how big do you wanna make the circle? Oh, I just heard my hip snap. As big as you'd like, as long as you don't tilt. So see how when I brought my circle too large, my whole body leaned? So you wanna have a nice, stable body position and move only through the hip socket. Knees are as straight as possible. You can draw a circle with the heel. You can draw a circle with your toe. We're gonna do 5 in each direction. Press into the floor with your hands so you're stable. Abs tight. Spine imprinted. So if you're moving nice and slowly and your legs, your quads stay constantly engaged, you're gonna feel a lot of strengthening in that muscle that supports the kneecaps. If you have any knee issues, this is a great way to work on stabilizing that knee. Let's reverse direction if you haven't yet. Okay, I'm gonna count. Do 6 in each one direction. Now also watch that the other knee, as one leg goes out, that it doesn't fall to the side to counterbalance the movement. Part of the challenge is using your abs to stabilize this movement. Yeah, last one. Hug your knees in, relax the leg, roll the ankles. We usually wear shoes a lot, so it kind of like restricts our foot movements. Now that we're all at home, maybe we're not wearing shoes at all. We're gonna do our other leg, but I'm actually gonna just turn a little bit so you can sort of see. My feet are hip distance while you guys are upside down. I'm going across the midline, so over the top of the knee, and I'm going out And you don't need to go that far out. You can make a circle the size of a pizza, whatever size pizza you eat. Okay? And again, it's just about range of motion of the hip. Inhale, exhale. Just keep a constant breathing pattern going. You can inhale at 12 o'clock, the top of the circle. Exhale at the bottom of the circle, the 6 o'clock. Okay? And notice again, I'm not having my other knee go out to counterbalance the movement, nor am I falling to the side. Well, I kind of got dizzy looking at you guys upside down. All right, let's reverse direction. I can't see anyone's faces right now, but I see a lot of legs in the air, which is perfect. So we're doing 6 in the second leg and the reverse direction. So probably about 2 more. All right, now hug that knee in, and again, get into those ankles. 3 or 4 times in each direction. Good. So we're gonna do a plank. Plank you've seen in yoga and boot camps, you've seen it in every exercise format possible. It is also present in Pilates. Now you can do it on your elbows with it directly under your shoulders, or you can do it on your wrists, okay? When you do it on your wrists, you'll feel a little more in your shoulders and a little bit in your arms and triceps. So again, take your option. We are gonna be doing what we call single leg lifts. Well, I don't know how to do double leg lifts in a plank. I guess that's what it is. All right, anyways, the wrists are underneath the shoulders. And I'm gonna do it on my wrists, but again, you can do it on your elbows. What I would say is start with your butt really high, and then see how that feels for you. Get the shoulders over the wrists. And then if you don't feel your abs, then lower your hips until it's a straight line from shoulders through hips through knees. The important thing is that you don't feel anything in the lower back, but you feel it in your abs. Now watch my footwork. My toes are flexed. They're tucked under. I'm gonna lift the leg, not too high. I'm not gonna move my pelvis. I'm gonna point, I'm gonna flex, and then I'm gonna lower. So it's a very slow leg lift, thinking about your footwork. Inhale, lift. Exhale, point. Inhale, flex, and then lower. All right, as long as you're alternating the breath, I'm really not that concerned. The breath sets the pace. So you don't want to go do this really fast because your breath probably can't keep up. So whatever, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now don't keep looking at me. Keep your head and neck aligned with your spine. Don't drop your head. Eye gaze on the floor, right in between your thumbs. Imagine there's milk on your tailbone. You don't want to spill the milk. It's not about how high you lift the leg. It's about just lifting it off the ground. Let's do 1 more on each side. Once you pick that height, keep it at the same height as you point and flex. Last one. Looking good. Looking strong. All right. We get to go on our backs again. Whew. How are you doing? Good? Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go into our teasers. Teasers is very similar to the roll-up, except our legs start lifted. And there's many, many variations of teasers. This is just one variation I'm doing for today. It's okay to use momentum to get up. If you've never seen a teaser, let me show you real fast. Like the roll-up, arms, head, shoulder blades. You're gonna get stuck here. Extend the legs and crunch up at the same time. When you kick out your legs, that weight shift helps you come up. Now on the way down, do the reverse. Extend, roll down, and pull in. Okay? So if you try to kick your legs out now, but your head isn't up, you'll get stuck. So timing, sequence of events, arms, head, shoulders, legs, spine. What happens if I don't extend my legs on the way out before I roll down. If I pull my knees in, I'm just gonna fall, all right? You want to work your abs in both directions. Arms, head, neck, shoulders. Exhale here, legs and spine. Inhale, find your balance on your tailbone. All right, ready? Exhale, extend the leg, roll down. Return to start position, inhale. Arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, legs and spine. Inhale here, exhale. If you want a little more challenging, keep those legs straight. We're still inhaling. Exhale, reach. Inhale, hold that V. And then your legs are already where they are, so you can exhale. Roll down, pull the knees in. All right, try 2 more at your own pace. Let me just quickly check here. So once you get familiar with your body, again, this has to do with leg length, torso length, spine mobility, how you roll up. And once you figure that out about your body, then you'll know how much you need to kick out your legs in order to come up. Maybe initially you kick it out a little faster, need a little momentum. Yep. Everyone can do a teaser. You just have to figure it out for your body. Kick your legs out a little faster if you are getting stuck getting onto your tailbone. Okay? All right, don't need to do too many. Quality over quantity in Pilates. All right, we're gonna do some outer thigh stuff. So again, remember what I said, Pilates focuses on the muscles that also surround the pelvis. So this is called side leaning leg kicks. I forgot what they're called. I think I just described it. Here, what I've done is I'm coming to the front edge of my mat. Now, if you have a pretty thin mat and you want to roll it up for extra cushioning, you can. Feel free. The reason why I like to come to the front edge of my mat is because it helps me with alignment. I want to place my hand on the same line as where my knees are. So I'm not placing it forward. I'm not placing it back here. It's right next to it. All right, so you're going to be a little teapot, and you're going to tip. Top hand can go up. It can go here. It can go here. Now, what happened to this leg? I'm lifting it to about hip height. This bottom leg is stabilizing. Try not to drop your butt back. Keep your hips pushed forward. Okay? Straighten the leg, lower, and lift. Where my foot is tapping in the ground is right on the edge of that mat. So everything in my body is flat up, flush up against this imaginary wall. All right, this I'll try to count because it's painful and we don't want to do more than we have to. Kneecaps and toes face forward. Notice I can externally rotate my leg. Keep it face forward for neutral. We're gonna do, let's do 10. Okay, we're done. Bend the knee. Come right back up. And to the other side. Straighten the leg. Lift. 2. Does it make sense what I'm saying? Don't pike back. Keep those hips pushing forward. Kneecaps and toes face front. So we're feeling this muscle here, this outer thigh. But that doesn't mean our bottom leg isn't stabilizing. Last 2. Now, if you really want to challenge this series that I'm doing right now, you can stay on the same side and do it all back to back. I'm alternating side because I get pretty fatigued. Okay, back to the first side. So again, let's say we just did this. Maybe you want to stay on the same leg and then do the next one, which is leg circles. Circles are about the size of an apple, maybe. It's not too big. You don't want to come all the way down, only because you're kind of creating a pulse motion. Small range of motion creates more muscular fatigue. Reverse. I try to do 5 in each direction, but I don't know how many we just did. Okay. I know you probably felt that one. Whew. Oh gosh. What we do on one side, we do not have to do on the other. Let's just quit.
No, okay, just kidding. We are aiming for balance and symmetry here in Pilates. Your abs are still engaged, even though we're not directly working our abs. Reverse direction. Again, circle small and slowly. If you do it too fast, your whole body might be spazzing and takes away from the exercise. Slow and controlled. You can do it even slower than what I'm doing. I know you'll feel it the slower you go. Okay, that's enough there. We're gonna do some push-ups and then some spine work. Okay. So the push-ups I'm doing are called Pilates push-ups. My hands are shoulder distance apart. Feel free to take it wide if that feels better for your triceps, your shoulders. It's up to you. So in Pilates, there's the wrist underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. And I bend my elbows back towards my hips. So not out to the side, but back toward my hips. And my head is aiming for the floor just ahead of my fingertips. So let's do the Pilates breathing. We're going to inhale down for 3 counts. Inhale, 2, 3, and press up. Down for 3, 2, 1, press up. Inhale down, 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 exhale up. Good. Notice my butt is not going behind my knees, and my elbows are not going toward the floor. Squeeze those elbows in nice and tight to your rib cage, and you should feel your triceps. Last one. Good. Go ahead and shake out those wrists. We're going to come to our stomach for one more spine exercise, and this time we are going to lift our legs. So form a narrow X with your body. So I'm reaching to the corners of my mat for my feet too. I know you don't have a bird's eye view from me. If you did, I'd be like this. Okay, so we're gonna lift right arm, left leg. And then left arm, right leg. Don't worry about how high it goes. Focus on keeping the limbs straight. Remember, the arms are out to the side on a Y. They're not straight ahead of you. Inhale, exhale. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Head and neck and stay aligned with the spine. So when you lift the arm, allow your head and neck to travel with a slight lift of the chest. You don't need to keep your nose glued to the floor because that actually keeps your head and neck out of alignment with the spine. So lifting opposite limbs, quads nice and tight, extending at the hip. So if you bend your knees, then it becomes a hamstring exercise. Now, I'm going to do all 4 limbs at the same time, but don't feel obligated to do that. Feel free to continue lifting opposing limbs. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. Again, if you think about your posture, a couple more and then you can sit back and stretch. If you think about your posture, this is us slouching. Our shoulder blades are separating. So the opposite of that is lifting our arms up against gravity, squeezing our shoulder blades. Basically what you just did when you worked your spine. All right, let's stretch. Let's wind it down. You've probably seen this before. Rounding the spine, making a rainbow with your spine. And then the opposite of a rainbow is a smile. A smile with your spine. Still, you want to keep the head and neck aligned with your spine. So you don't want to purposely look up. That's a lot of strain. If you're straining your neck to look up, well, then you're straining your neck. So when you're rounding the spine, tuck the tailbone under, and then the head travels along with the spine. And then when you do the opposite, if you look at your curve, usually that means your eye gaze is not to the front wall, but maybe about 2 feet ahead of your hands. Okay? So a couple more times, taking your spine through its full range of motion. Exhale here. And inhale there. So Pilates is stretch and strengthen one. So if you notice as we did scissors, we're strengthening our quads but stretching our hamstrings. So we don't really need to do any particular stretching at the end. Another example is when we do our crunches, we're stretching our spine, and when we're working on spine, we're stretching the abs. However, I'm going to do a hamstring stretch anyways. This is similar to saw. If you've ever done saw, you take your legs nice and wide, you reach across to the pinky toe, and you're supposed to saw it off. I did not come up with the name of that. My variation is I'm going to bend one knee, I'm going to take the opposite hand, and I'm going to reach across. And whatever I can grab, whether it's my pinky toe, whether it's the outside of my ankle, the outside of my shin, I'm going to grab it with the opposite hand, and then I'm going to start to bend my elbows. And that kind of pulls me deeper into the stretch. And are you holding your breath? Let's keep breathing into our stretch. You could, every time you exhale, maybe pull a little bit more. There's a slight rotation here, so you should also feel it a little bit in your lower back. Let's try the other side. And feel free, if you want to do it with both legs extended, absolutely you can do it that way. Let's try the other side. I'm kind of keeping my foot relaxed right now. I'm not pointing it or flexing it. It's just there. Once I've reached the outside of my leg, I'm gently bending my elbows and pulling myself down into a deeper stretch. You're going to feel a lengthening in the hamstring, the lower back. So Pilates has a bunch of exercises that we do. You'll see similar exercises every time, but there's about 50 plus exercises. So I kind of pick and choose which ones of the Pilates exercises and put into a 45-minute class. So next week, if you join me, you'll see some of the same exercises. They're sort of what I call the core, no pun intended, but the core exercises of Pilates. And then you'll see a few variations of them. I always like to end thinking about posture, because ultimately Pilates is about improving our posture, improving our alignment, improving our balance, flexibility, strength, all that stuff. So if we're spending many hours at home working or sitting at a desk, or whether it's watching TV, anything, we just want to remind ourselves to lengthen through our spine, right? Shoulders down and relaxed. Let's lift the arm up, reach high, and then do a slight side bend, stretching into those obliques. I'm keeping equal weight in both butt cheeks, so you don't want to lift up like that. Good. Let's reach up again, nice and high, and relax. Other side. And this is a great exercise to do if you do find yourself sitting still for a very long time. You don't need to get on the floor to do this. You can do this in a chair. Good. All right, so again, just to quickly show the side view here, this is more our common position, and we really just want to lift the chest, bring the shoulders back and down. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. That was Mat Pilates. If you have any questions, I will unmute you guys. I see everyone just sliding on their butt towards their phone or laptop, whatever. Great. You know, this is how I clean my floor. It's with my butt. But I will be unmuting you guys. If you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for another 10, 15 minutes. Okay, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining me. This is, again, MIT Health Fitness.